T-Mobile gives you more ways than ever to get out there with America's largest 5G network and the epic iPhone 12 with 5G on us. Whether you're hitting the road,
check out this great 4K video. I even posted it with 5G way out here.
Or getting the team together. Right now, current and new customers get up to 4 iPhone 12s on us on our Max plan with eligible trade-ins. Only at T-Mobile.
Each phone on us via 24 credits plus tax for well-qualified buyers. If you cancel credit, stop, and balance on required finance agreements may be due. Contact us. See 5G coverage, access, and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Parents, get your children ready for a healthy back to school. Schedule a checkup with their doctor and dentist. And be sure they are up to date with their immunizations, including the COVID-19 vaccine if they're 12 or older. A message from the Virginia Department of Health and Virginia Department of Education.
Four from the South is a new podcast hosted by me, Steve Healy.
And me, Fabrizio Copano.
Guess what, America? You are part of Latin America. You may not like it, but it's happened. Time to learn about Mexico, Central America, South America. It's part of your world.
Each week, we'll bring you 4 stories from Latin America. Get to know your neighbors.
Listen to Four from the South, starting on August 12th on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You'll enjoy it. Muy bueno. Very good podcast.
Welcome into the program. Follow the money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard live in downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is your spot. Coming up today on the show, our buddy Jeff Seeley, 2 different golf tournaments to bet on this weekend. Well, that we're going to bet on and listen to him for his best bets in an hour. Tim Benz covers the Steelers for the Tribune Review in Pittsburgh and also Steelers pregame host on ESPN Pittsburgh. The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow night. And our buddy Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network, ESPN, calling Angels games this year. He's going to be on the show at the very back end today. Paulie, a lot of news to get into to open up this show. It feels like now for the last 3 days we've been talking about the Indianapolis Colts. That's because we've had news to discuss every single day. The first 2 days of this week, of course, with Carson Wentz. And then yesterday we found out after the show, how does that happen? The same injury now to Quentin Nelson, where both guys are on the table between 5 and 12 weeks. And I would tell you that that's the one. That's the injury right there that's more important to the Colts than Carson Wentz. Because Carson Wentz he's a coin flip this year. Like, he can be good, he can be bad. We're unsure at this point, like what we're going to see with Carson Wentz. But that offensive line is the key pretty much to the entire offense. And when you take away the best offensive lineman in football via the same injury, and then you start to have these cluster injuries, that's where it's going to add up on a team.
What if all these guys are out first couple of games?
Yeah.
No Wentz, no Fisher, no Kelly, no Nelson. And you're going to get at least the big 2 out, Nelson and Wentz, to start the season. I mean, my God. And the other thing, too, now, is it was interesting because he talked to the LA Times. That Rivers is like, I'm ready.
Yeah, we kicked it around yesterday.
Maybe they reached out to him, but the fact that with the timing that Rivers says, I'm ready to go, and I'm not going to say it's 100%, but
sure.
Who knows if I'm not going to rule out that I could be playing in December or January.
Well, you know what that probably is from Rivers? He's a big family man. We all know this. They're pumping out kids every week.
Sure.
He finally, this whole thing of, I get to retire, I get to go spend time with my wife and my 9 kids. He's been gone now for 1 full summer, and he's like, get me the hell out of here. 9 kids. I was away playing football the entire time. I never had to worry about it. Now I'm at home the whole time with these. What?
Yeah.
Come on. I'm available. He might be in the best shape of his life. Who knows?
And maybe she's asking him to run errands and also do stuff for the honeydews, do stuff around the house.
He's probably like, what did I sign up for here? 9.
This is not.
Boy, was I duped.
Yes, right. Get me out of this place. Yeah. Sure. But I thought that was interesting with the timing. But again, the hits keep on coming. No. And whether it's division and again at William Hill, the Titans are $1.50 just to make the playoffs with the yes/no.
Yeah, okay. I saw them as high as I think $1.80 for the division. Here at Circa, the Titans are minus 140. Now the Colts get another bump. They are plus $2. And the Jags keep coming down a little bit. They were in the $9 range recently here at Circa. They're now plus 770 to win that division. But it's in the first 5 weeks. I mean, what do we do here with Jonathan Taylor from a fantasy standpoint? I know that how do you like this? At William Hill, they have him in an individual rushing matchup against Melvin Gordon. like on paper, Jonathan Taylor, he's like minus 260 in that neighborhood, but he should be able to wipe, the floor with Melvin Gordon. But now all of a sudden, first 5 games, more guys are banged up on the offensive line. Suddenly now, like, what is he going to be? Like, going into the season, you thought Jonathan Taylor was going to become like the focal point of the offense now, but then now what happens if they fall behind? Jacob Eason's going to have to lead you from behind, throwing the ball a little bit more. Naheem Hines is going to be used as kind of the scat back and the third down back, the receiving guy. I did the first 5, as we documented yesterday, the first 5 weeks of the season. Oh, man.
Yeah, this is great that there's news every day. There's a game tomorrow. We'll talk to Tim Benz coming up, his thoughts on the Steelers. What happened yesterday with what are the Giants doing? There's a brawl at practice, and Jones is at the bottom of it?
Yeah.
And good for Judge. He made him run.
He was livid.
Yeah, of course. It's ridiculous. Uh-huh. They have a brawl. Then you have Carolina, where a guy was cut for an illegal hit on a Kirkwood guy was sent to the hospital.
Sure. And then we found out per one report, the NFL reached 90% of its players vaccinated, and then the report came out, the Vikings 64%.
Oh, God.
And then you can understand why Zimmer has been losing his mind like every day at his press conferences. Just like, guys, I don't get it. I don't know what the hell's going on here. And you had Rivera come out again like last week or over the weekend, and he said pretty much the same thing. So, but 90%, that's a pretty good number, I would say. So I know the league wants to get to 100%, but that's probably a little unrealistic.
Yeah.
Who knows, though? Welcome into the program. This is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard live in downtown Las Vegas. Talking this hour here, beginning with the Colts news again yesterday. Quentin Nelson now out 5 to 12 weeks. And these injuries are already, this can happen, right, with one team. Remember the 49ers last year? It felt like every week, bam, another guy goes down, another guy. Now with the Colts already, not even playing their first preseason game yet, they're going down like flies. So
I just don't see how they can survive this now. I mean, we touched on it yesterday, but now with this other injury, and Adam Chernoff was great yesterday, and he tweeted about it after he talked about the Colts and the injuries.
Yep.
With 3 guys banged up on the O-line, with Wentz and that difficult schedule to start. It screams 1-4. That's got to be a 1-4 start.
Yeah. So this is their head coach, Frank Reich, and he's kind of thrown his hands up like it's one thing after another now with this team.
Let you know that Quentin left practice early yesterday with the foot injury. In an odd twist of events, he's got virtually the same injury as Carson. So it's not exactly the same, but it's essentially the same. Went through the same process, MRIs, consult with the docs. He's having the same procedure done today at 4 o'clock. We'll have that done here in Indy with Dr. Porter, just like Carson did. And it'll be the same time frame. We're obviously very optimistic, just like we are with Carson.
Yeah, that stinks.
I like what you said earlier about the 49ers. Maybe it's just not your year. And sometimes it's not meant to be.
Isn't that funny the way it happens?
All those guys kept getting hurt for the 49ers, and here, before the season even starts, I mean, Wright gets COVID. You got Brady, the OC, running things for about a week.
Yep.
And then Wentz, Kelly, Nelson.
It's tough.
He's right. You can't make it up. You can't make this
No,
up.
you really can't. You really can't. And by the way, tip of the cap to VSiN's very own Michael Lombardi, who's been saying this now for a couple of weeks. Like, everybody's going to look good in practice, right? And
I saw the Trey Lance video.
It was a nice pass.
Yes.
Did you see some of the Bay Area media? They're trying to describe it on Twitter with the play-by-play what he did. He jumped up, he twisted 50 yards in the air. You don't even see that stuff in a video game. The reports on Tua. Okay? Better watch out, because this is the year Tua. Forget about last year. Tua's going to be incredible. Justin Fields, which I can buy into. The study loves him. Like, he could be the biggest rock star in Chicago in a long time if he actually plays and turns out to be as good as some people think he could be. But there's not a single player in the NFL who looks bad right now. Every single report, watch out, here we go. This is going to be the year. This guy looks amazing. Okay.
Yep.
I want to see one person tweet out who covers a team. I got to tell you, first-round pick, he stinks.
Yep. Ugly. Yes. This is great, though. The other thing, will we see return to normalcy? Will home field advantage matter now? We know what happened, but it was straight up 500 last year.
All right.
Home field meant nothing. You don't have fans, and I understand that, but what will home field mean now that we'll have fans back in the stadiums? What will it get back to normal with that? And the other thing with the preseason, number one, get point spread weekly. Humans has added again. He's updated all the quarterback rotations, which you have to have for the preseason. But these numbers again, you forget about this stuff, but now it's here. I mean, Harbaugh has won 17 preseason games in a row and is 15-1-1 ATS. It's lunacy. It's impossible. Go back to some guys care, some don't. Kenny White talked about it Monday. Harbaugh, Carroll, Zimmer, Peyton's 7-14 run. Gruden's excellent in the first game out of the gates.
That's right.
You have the new coach angle. But to think about Harbaugh, that he's won 17 preseason games in a row and is 15-1-1 ATS. I can't believe it.
Well, he takes it seriously, right? That's why it's not impossible.
Or, good. Like
because
I was watching Matt and Wes Reynolds yesterday about quarterback rotations, and it seems they always have the guys like third string, fourth string that can scramble, keep plays alive. Who knows what you have out there with the offensive line, and they always seem to have a couple guys like that on the roster.
How many examples do we have over the years of backup quarterbacks, third stringers, who have basically, I'm not going to say made a living in the preseason, but they have showcased themselves quite nicely, and that continues to be a thing for a handful of years. And when they've had their chances in the regular season, they can't shine. They're a good preseason quarterback, and when they get their reps, they're in there for a second half of a game, they can look effective. There are plenty of guys like that. And I know, Matt, you talked about the quarterback rotations, and then when you have coaches who, at this point, this stage of the game, what you see is what you get with Harbaugh, right? I mean, and this is now the cat's out of the bag. You're not going to get great numbers, but he's still covering these games. But you know what he thinks of the preseason. He wants to win. They bury teams a lot, too.
True.
We'll take you out to the woodshed, and the game's over with early. But, to him, it's meaningful. To others, they don't care at all.
You have to like I can't get over that. You have to like the Jacksonville rotation, too. Now you're looking at Lawrence, Minshew, Beathard. Not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the depth there, how many backup quarterbacks in football are better than Gardner Minshew? Right? He's probably one of the better backups at this point, no doubt. And Beathard, we've seen work in the regular season with Kyle Shanahan. You just got to, how seriously is Urban Meyer going to approach these games? And you would think, right, with all these young guys, and, they have a lot of young skill players, too. So to get them incorporated right away, does he want to go out there in the first game, the first quarter, first couple of series, whatever, and say, all right, guys, here we go. Let's go down the field, score a touchdown, look good, look crisp, all that kind of stuff. So
Great.
Yep.
Great. News every day. NBA free agency, the moves the Lakers made. Bulls get DeRozan. Bulls have made some nice moves. And it's also interesting to see what the odds are around the country, and then opposed to Nevada with the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
Because we're a Laker town. All these people come in from Southern California. As low as 3-1 now, and the favorites at William Hill to win it. Plus 350 at the Westgate, and plus 350 at Circa. The Nets are the favorites at Circa and also the Westgate.
Another nice addition by the Nets yesterday, by the way, Patty Mills. I know JVT was tweeting about this. I mean, the offense is just going to be insane next year. You would assume that the guys are going to come back and they're not going to miss nearly as much time as last year. And once we get Harden, Kyrie, KD, and some of these other guys playing together, I mean, the offense could legitimately be, again, the best of all time. But now, with all these moves for the Lakers, like the first day and a half or so, the Westbrook move, really, you had to go get him instead of a guy like Buddy Hield. Then Dwight Howard's coming back, and some others, you're like, guys, what are we doing here? Then yesterday, it was Carmelo.
Yep.
They added none from the Heat, who turned down more money.
Good move.
I would say so. Mm-hmm. And other, sneaky good. Malik Monk on the minimum is maybe my favorite signing of the entire offseason so far. He has improved his open threes since his rookie year. In fact, wide open in his attempts, Malik Monk, 38.5%, 38, all the way to 43% last year. And now they added Wayne Ellington, 42% last year, Carmelo 41, Bazemore 41, and Malik Monk 40 overall. They suddenly have some shooters, and the depth on the team. I know they've added a lot of aging veterans. It's easy. People are going to make fun of them.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, the top 10, top 11 guys on that roster, I'd say it's damn impressive.
And then with the Bulls making all these moves, the East is stacked. Deep. A lot of depth now in the East with so many good teams. Heat got better. Bulls are better. Bulls could be a playoff team. Celtics made the playoffs last year. You still have Philly, Milwaukee, the Nets. I mean, this is a very, finally we have some depth in the East, and a good job by the Bulls with the moves they've made.
Yeah, I saw some people, I think, overreacting on the Bulls yesterday. I love their moves. I told you that I bet Zach LaVine 150 to 1 to win the MVP. But some people were saying they're now the 4 seed right now in the East ahead of Philadelphia and Atlanta. I'm not going to get that far with it. I mean, did you watch Atlanta play last year in the playoffs? They were awesome. And the leap the jump that Trae Young took. The Knicks, I would say the Bulls are probably better than the Knicks right now. But also the Sixers are up in the air. Like, I know that they've talked about trading Harris. They picked up the phone on him. The Ben Simmons rumors are out there again now for this guy to get dealt. But the top of the East again, with the addition of some of these players for the Bulls, they could be 4, 5, 6 seed in that range, I would think is probably fair with that team. But the East again, the Nets, the Bucks, the Heat again with Butler, Bam, Lowry, and others. Talked about the Bulls. The Sixers, who knows what they're going to do. Did you see John Collins for Atlanta?
Yeah, he said no to what 125?
5 for 125, and it was like the guy was insulted. 5 for 125. Nah, not good enough. I'm going to hold out for the max because I'm a max player. Sure you are. But that whole conference is really good again. And where are the Celtics, by the way? Yeah. Now where do they land? They missed the playoffs? They're probably on the fringe.
That's true.
Yeah?
Yeah. Back in that play-in scenario, that's right. And I like what the Wizards did with the Westbrook trade. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it hasn't worked out the last couple of years for Kuzma, but that's still if he can surround Beal with some other guys.
Well, the angle.
Harrell's a good player, and
Paul, you're well aware of the angle here with Kuzma. Once a young player leaves the Lakers.
Well, right, good point, Coach Thorpe. Absolutely.
How many guys have actually turned into like all-stars or most improved players? And Kuzma was really good. His first year in the league, first 2 years, whatever it was. In fact, when they had Kuzma, Ball, Randall, and Ingram, I remember seeing this on the Lakers television network. They put up a poll to their fans. Who do you want to keep? Like, who's going to be the long-term all-star? Kuzma won the poll. He won the vote over all of them. All three of those guys left. They turned out to be great players. The same thing could be true with Kuzma.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think? Yep. What'd you think last night? It was a weird night in baseball.
Well, my God, some of the disasters by the bullpens across the league.
The Brewer-Giant thing didn't work out after the 20-2 run. Giants, Mad Bum pitched well. Okay, Giants get beat. That happens. But then you have the Brewers who are up 4-0 in the 7th, and they blow it and get beat by the Pirates. Yeah, and they had their number. Looked like they were going to cover the run line again. Another easy win. Then all hell breaks loose with the bullpen. Again, Rockies, awesome at home, awful on the road. They took out the Cubs. Mariners do it again. Right back with the Mariners, by the way. Gilbert's number 1 in ROI, and he's plus 145 today. They're 6-0 against the Rays. 6-0. And you got the number 1 pitcher ROI in baseball going today at a good plus price. And, of course, that's what the Yankees do, right? After
explode that day.
Yeah. They go crazy yesterday. And Mets lose again. It's down to a game and a half.
It is.
I know you have your Wheeler ticket. Everything was fine till the 7th. What was that? That's 1-0 in the 7th, and the game goes over.
He's cruising along, by the way. He allowed nothing through 6. Guys were barely getting on base, and he had a very small pitch count. So, of course, get out there. Then 2 runs in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th. So those 4 earned runs now are going to look, I don't know, maybe bad. But again, he went 7 1/3. And then Buehler was good last night.
Yeah, he gave up 1 run.
You got the loss.
It seems the Dodgers either give you 10 runs or get shut out.
Yeah.
And the Astros beat them. What is Bellinger doing? The guy's hitting $160?
Well, he missed a huge chunk of time, obviously. Are those lingering problems that he had?
He's looking at pitches right down the middle.
I know.
$160.
Confidence shaking maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Mets lose again, down to a game and a half. Who was the other one I was going to point out? Red Sox lose again. Again, Detroit.
Yeah.
They're up. They're right there, trying to get to number 4 ROI. They might get to 500. It's a great story.
I'll tell you this.
And they got Mize going, who's top 5 for ROI with pitchers. So you're up 11 units on the Tigers this year.
How far are we away from the Tigers really having, the rebuild's going to be into something that you got to be taking?
Oh, there's hope, yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's fine. Well, taking long enough, but right.
2 years away, maybe?
Yeah.
To where they're a serious contender, like in that division, maybe with the White Sox and...
Well, could be next year.
Could be.
It's not crazy. I think they can get to 500. They're only a few games under 500.
You've seen the year that Badu has had now. He's the number 3 choice to win the American League Rookie of the Year, having a solid season. There's a lot of young talent on that team. But again, Hauser for the Brewers had a no-no. He left after 6 1/3 with no hits given up. They had to yank him. His pitch count was around 100. Get him out of here. They go to the bullpen. I know that Hader's banged up. That's the one thing, and on paper it should be really, really good. That's the one thing that concerns me a little bit about the Brewers. Because I love the top 3, and we're seeing Peralta today, how there's already been a move on him, a 15-cent move. He's up to 280 against the Pirates. That bullpen is a little shaky to me, and it shouldn't be, but it is.
You know what team we haven't discussed? Atlanta. They're 2.5 back.
Oh, they're right in this thing. Looking at the standings last night, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And don't look now, Freddie Freeman with his 24th home run last night. Watch that guy swoop in with the Tatis injury. He's plus 750, I believe, to win the NL MVP.
Yeah. I ripped him yesterday, too. I got to give it up to Snell. That was a good job. I mean, he's been shaky, especially the last time out against the A's. Well, the whole year, the ERA of 5.
Yep.
A's roughed him up, but a good bounce back, and the Padres got a nice win.
That's now back-to-back road starts for Snell, where he's been good. But also, the A's had their chances in the first 2 innings. Runners were on throughout the first and the second. They just could not scrape across anybody, and that was that. They only got one for the entire game, and Snell ended up winning it again. Yeah, 8-1 the final score last night for the Padres. I'm not going to call it a much-needed win, but with what they've been through here recently, this team obviously needs to find some wins here in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain the Texas liability all of a sudden? There's some big bets on Texas to win it all with futures.
Yeah, I saw that.
That came out of nowhere.
I don't get that at all.
Some huge bets on Texas with Sark.
Is that the thought here? Playing in that conference?
I never thought he was a good coach anyways.
Well, but
Washington was okay. USC he had his issues there.
Sure.
I could be the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Hey, go deep, throw it long.
Yeah, but also he
run a go route. I mean,
yeah, but Kiffin is a great offensive play caller, and I think he's kind of proven himself now, like in his seventh chance.
He did a great job at Florida Atlantic, and he did a good job last year.
Yes, absolutely.
But it was terrible at the Raiders. It didn't work out with the Raiders. Tennessee was short. And USC was a disaster.
Sure, but I think now maybe he found his spot now. And I think the same thing for Sark. I think Sark, did he take over an 0-12 team, or were they 0-12 in his first year and turned him into a really good program? It was something along those lines. Then he left for a better job, in quotes. But the creativity last year with the Alabama offense was phenomenal.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
And the way that he can recruit. But this year, right now, to expect big things from them? No, I don't think so. We're live today from the oddstrader.com studio here at Circa Resort Casino. You can go to oddstrader.com, download the free OddsTrader app right now, start winning with up to the second info that you need. And the show is also brought to you by our pro and college football betting guides. Start your football season on the right foot with our expert analysis and picks for conference champions, Heisman hopefuls, and playoff teams, plus power ratings for every single team. Get your college betting guide for only $19.99 or start your free trial. All access today at vsin.com/subscribe. Paulie's going to run down Win Some, Lose Some coming up next.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
iHeartRadio presents.
That's the scene right now from Los Angeles, which hours ago suffered the largest earthquake in North American history.
A new dramatic thriller.
As far as we can tell, the earthquake somehow raised a new landmass out here.
Starring Sarah Wayne Callies.
I gotta get out there. That's my girl.
We're spread as thin as
No, but she's out there on that island.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
There are corpses all over the Southland. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a natural disaster.
And David Harbour.
It's dangerous out there.
I don't care. I have to go get her.
All right, I get it. You want company?
You'll go to the island?
Aftershock.
What did I tell you? This is a good place. People find each other here.
There are 24 dead bodies rotting in a pile and 2 survivors.
You're sure that there's 8 volunteers willing to get shot before the rest of you could stop us?
Cassie, get the gun.
Aftershock. Listen and follow on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sleeping cool and comfortable is impossible when the world's against you. And with the windows shut, it's not any better. You need the cooling power of a Purple mattress. It's comfort reinvented thanks to the grid. It's super breathable, allowing air to flow through, so you sleep cool all night long. And it cushions your curves, so you're comfortable no matter how you sleep. For a limited time, get a free set of sheets plus a free pillow with the purchase of select mattresses. Go to purple.com/sleepwell. Terms apply.
Back at it, baby, from the oddstrader.com studio, Circle Resort and Casino. Go to oddstrader.com. Download the free OddsTrader app right now. Start winning with up to the second info you need. Great site. Compare sportsbook sign-up bonuses, in-game tracking tools, live in-game odds and stats, real-time bet tracking. oddstrader.com. The bets on Texas, by the way, at the Westgate, a big volume. 100-1, 80-1, and a $5,000 bet at 80-1. Their biggest liability at the Westgate in college football. Time for a win-lose. Couple bad beats. The Brewers, 2:30. They got up to 2:30. They led 4-0 in the 7th. Pirates score 5 in the 7th, and they win at 8-5 in extras. Braves, Cardinals over 8.5. Braves score 6 runs by the second inning, but it died. 6-1 final. Phillies, Nats under 7.5, as I mentioned. 1-0 in the 7th. 5-4 final. Your boy Wheeler was great, and then what happened in the 7th? Bad for the books. White Sox 190 up to 250. Routed the Royals. Lose some. The Dodgers 155 up to 175. Shut out at home by the Astros. Giants 160 up to 180. They get beat by Arizona. The Mets 160 up to 190. They lost to the Marlins. And look at this. I mean, we talked about this, 3 months ago? This is from Vital Vegas on Twitter. Raiders, Ravens, Monday night, win club seats. Front row booth, 10 people. 50,000. We got the prices now of what this will go for. Table reservations, premium front row, 12 people, $60,000. Front row, 10 people, $50,000. Second row, $50,000. Center, second row, $40,000. Second row, 10 people. Center, third row, 10 people. Sold out, sold out.
Yeah, people are asking if the Wynn Field Club will have any trouble selling tickets.
Oh, my God.
I will tell you that the tickets for $50,000 for a group of 10, those will probably be the hottest tickets in the entire stadium. Right? Because you're right down there on the field in the end zone with those leather, sofas and the furniture and, the butler service, whatever comes along with it. That's going to sell out like hotcakes.
Yep. Win some, big time win some. Send in from a viewer. How many times have you hit a Royal in your life? 1? Is that it? Look at this. How sexy is this? Guy's playing $50.
Yeah. Oh,
that's $250 a push. He gets dealt 4 to the Royal with diamonds. He needs the king. He gets it. Folks, that's 200 large. Oh, there's the hand pay. That is beautiful.
Wait, so where was this at again?
I didn't see where it was at.
All right.
I didn't see it.
200,000 on a Royale?
Yep. My God.
Man.
Gets dealt 4.
Look at the credit down below. That looks sexy, huh?
It is. About here. I was talking to Tessie, who does a great job, a host at the D. The Buffalo hit. Remember Derek Stevenson said, the Buffalo hit again. For the third time, it hit for over 600,000 at the D.
At the D?
Yeah.
Hit for the third time?
Last time was $1 million. And it hit again for the third time, 600,000. Here's a way. This is great. Belly rub. Huh? Look at the German Shepherd here. Look at this guy. Looks like Alf a little bit. With the TV show. Bad reference, dating myself. Look at that. That guy, he's having a great time.
Jesus, he really likes
the belly rub. He got that. And then one lose some. This was in Colorado.
Look at this.
You sent this to me?
Yep.
Oh, my God. This video, if you can't see it, it was a mudslide.
Uh-huh.
And people were trapped
overnight in their cars.
Yeah. and stuck because of what happened.
I mean, the mudslide just completely overtook the freeway.
More than 100 people had to spend the night on a highway, including 30 who had to take refuge in a tunnel after rain over area burned by a wildfire once again triggered mudslides in western Colorado. Oh! Definitely lose some. There you go. Eclectic mix as always.
I think I drove through that pass last summer on the way back to the Midwest. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you're not going to be able to turn around like in the median because it's like it drops down like a cliff and all this kind of other stuff. You're done. You can't go right. There are no turns. Nothing. You're stuck.
You imagine one more thing. Imagine what these gals are going to make with the bottle service with the
at the stadium.
What's the autograt? What's the autograt on a $70,000 tab?
Sure.
You don't have to do anything.
And again, people.
It's like, I'll pocket $10,000 here, no problem. Don't have to do anything.
Yeah, people are going to come to town and just be like, 10, 50, put it on my tab. What else? What else can we do? What can we get? Ladies, you want to go with? Have a good time tonight? Let's go. Raiders game, Monday Night Football, whatever's. The tickets overall for Monday night when they take on the Ravens in Week 1? What are we talking there? What's the buy-in price just to get into the stadium?
I have not. Yeah, I talked to a guy who has season tickets. He sold his Raven tickets and already's made a profit
for the whole year.
That's it. Yep. He already paid for his season tickets just by selling the Ravens tickets.
Sure.
Good for him. Why not?
I finally made a bet on NFL Comeback Player of the Year, and it was on a player we haven't even discussed yet this summer. With exclusive bets, daily specials, odds boosts, and the largest offer of live in-play options, BetRivers Sportsbook is the industry leader when it comes to online sports betting. And to make your experience even more rewarding, BetRivers offers the most live streams of major sports, instant payouts, and only one-time playthrough. BetRivers, your hometown sportsbook. Offer is valid in Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Virginia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It's also available at PlaySugarHouse.com in New Jersey. And you must be 21 years old to play. You know, Paulie, yesterday when we were talking about the comeback player of the year in the NFL, we were making the case for a bunch of guys, and we were kind of searching for this year's Alex Smith. There will never be another Alex Smith for the most part, right? Probably in our lifetime to do what he did last year, to come back from that kind of devastating injury where, again, you and Matt Human said like last May, if he plays one snap, he's winning the award, right? But Patrick on Twitter responded yesterday, hey, fellas, comeback player of the year, look it up. Duvernay Tardif for the Chiefs. Total narrative play, but the NFL is going to sell it every time the Chiefs are in prime time and the media will eat it up. I forgot about him.
So did I.
I forgot about Laurent.
An excellent email.
Duvernay Tardif. And I will remind people, I will read this to you, that last year when he announced on Twitter that he was choosing to opt out of the 2020 season as a precaution due to COVID-19, he had been working as an orderly at a Montreal long-term care facility during the pandemic. He was the first NFL player to announce he would not play the season because of COVID. As a result, his role in fighting COVID off the field in 2020, he's a doctor on the side of playing in the NFL.
On the
right? That's what he does, right?
It's a hobby for me.
Yeah, exactly. It resulted in Sports Illustrated naming Duvernay Tardif, offensive lineman for the Chiefs, one of their Sports People of the Year. For his efforts both on and off the field in 2020, he was named co-winner of the Lou Marsh Trophy, which is awarded annually to Canada's top athlete of the year. There is your narrative this season. He left last year, did not play, opted out. He wanted to help fight COVID-19. He's a doctor again. This is the kind of thing that the media will absolutely gobble up. And if he plays well this year...
Prices you see?
I got him 33-1. But
Okay.
I've seen different prices between 10-1, 14-1, 16.
I think it'd be higher. I mean, Dak is like plus 175 at some spot.
I know that. I know. But if you can find, I would not bet 10-1, but if you can find 16 or higher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Excellent email, though. Very good.
Tremendous.
Yep.
Tremendous. Yep.
Rapid fire, 30 seconds of perspective. Best future or football bet you made so far? Well, I'll just say this: best future bet you like football.
Okay. Other than that, and to be honest, I don't have a ton again this year, but probably my favorite one is the biggest bet that I've made, and people are trying to talk me off this. I know we're going to a 17-game season. They're going to have 9 out here in Las Vegas. I have Raiders under 8, minus 130. Difficult schedule, playing in that division. The offensive line, I think, could potentially be a mess. I don't love their skilled guys. I like their car, it's fine. But also, I need to see it to believe it with the defense.
Sure.
They got to get to 9 wins to beat me. That's probably my favorite one.
Well, that was the other thing I mentioned earlier about home field. Didn't exist last year. Raiders won 2 home games.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if that changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. But here's the thing. Like you said, the person who you know already sold his Ravens ticket to make that much money.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like when the Eagles come here to town? The same weekend, by the way, that the Flyers are here, I believe. No. That's EDC is in town. EDC's in town. That weekend, when the Broncos are in town, when the Chiefs are in town, is it not going to be like 50-50 with those fans from the other teams? I think it might be like 60-40 best for a loss, for the Raiders.
I don't know. We'll see. Right.
30 seconds of perspective. Have you ever left a drive-through fast food for any reason?
Happened a couple months ago. I order, I pay, I'm at the window. The guy opens up the window and he's eating food. He's got his mouth full. All right, I'll be about 5 minutes. He's chomping down on something, on his energy bar or something.
Right.
And then he goes back and he's standing with 3 other employees. And all I got was a couple tacos.
Right.
And it was over 5 minutes. I go, this is ridiculous. I'd already paid. I go, I don't care. I took off. I went across the street. I was so ticked. This never happened before. Mm-hmm. I'm the only customer. Why am I waiting? It's a taco place. And the guy's got his mouth full and he's eating as he opened up the window and took my money. Unheard of. I was like,
you could have slapped the thing and been like, can I get my money back?
Yeah, knocked down.
Come on.
It's like $7. So I'm like, all right, I ate it. I ate the $7. I go, that's it. I'm driving across the street.
You should have waited.
I left on principle. I go, this is ridiculous.
You should have waited, looked in the bag, opened it up, and imagine if he took a bite out of one of your tacos. That's what he was eating. Now that would have been precious, huh?
Well, that's never happened before, right? The guy is eating?
No, I've never seen that before.
As he opens up the window, he's got his mouth full with something.
Spitting out chunks of
I couldn't believe
taco meat.
What kind of operation is this?
Yeah. Do you check your bag, by the way, in the drive-thru when it's packed behind you? Like, hold on a second here. I got to make sure you got everything in here.
You still have to look at it.
I'll hold up the line.
Yep.
Yeah, because they screwed up a good 20% of the time.
Yep.
Last movie you saw at a theater, and what's your level of excitement for House of Gucci?
I did go to Quiet Place 2, which was a good movie, but I also wanted, because I hadn't been to a theater in forever. Mm-hmm. It might have been Mission Impossible for the last time. But a couple months ago, I went to Quiet Place 2, and I also wanted to experience the theater because of a movie that's made that way.
Right.
Where it's got to be quiet, silence, and you can't talk, or else the aliens or whatever come.
A bunch of people there or no?
It was good crowd.
Okay.
Good crowd, yeah. But this House of Gucci looks fantastic. Lady Gaga, Jared Leto, and read the backstory on this thing. I mean, it's got a great cast. Is that is that a Scorsese joint? I can't remember. Anyways, that looks fantastic as well. And of course, the Bond movie, which has been pushed back 7 or 8 times. I think that's in November.
I finally saw the preview for that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never been like a big Bond guy in my life. That movie looks sensational. Looks great. What do you think of Quiet Place 1?
2 was better, but 1 was
2 was
good.
better? Okay.
Well, it's interesting how it's the whole storyline and
I like
when are you going to go to a movie where there's like half the movie it's silence?
I recently watched part 1 at home.
She's a good actress.
Oh, she's very good. Yeah. And I thought it was worth watching for sure. With their daughter, obviously, and how that worked out, everything. Definitely a good movie. I've been going back and watching old. I watched Savages for the first time this weekend. Have you seen that?
Not bad.
Oliver Stone, 2012.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. I'm like, that looks good. And then
Blake Lively?
Pretty good.
Benicio del Toro?
I was pleasantly surprised at that.
Yeah.
9 years late to the party.
I'll give you something. Right. Now, Super Heist starts Monday on CNBC. This could be something. And I'm hooked from the get-go. First episode, guys steal $30 million. It's a Nixon slush fund. Straight cash home.
Okay, really?
This is going to be. This has potential.
Okay.
I think there's also an airport heist involved in one of these too.
Yeah.
This Super Heist, Monday, CNBC.
Oh, so they're different heists that have...
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. Right in my alley.
Every Monday, different story.
Oh, tremendous.
Yep.
We will discuss some NFL player props coming up next. 17 games this year, 44 and a half passing touchdowns. Will a quarterback go over that number this year?
Transportista is a podcast that tells the story of a pilot who, using a clandestine cell phone from inside a prison in North Carolina, claims to have worked as an entrepreneur and air logistics coordinator in the international drug trade for some 30 years.
I'm Transportista. That's what I am.
My name is John Gibler. I'm a journalist based in Mexico. I was approached to see if I would be interested in looking into this pilot's story. Yeah, I said, I'm interested. I contacted a number of reporters who had either met, interviewed, or reported on this pilot.
He didn't want to tell the truth, he wanted to sell the truth.
And began to piece together a portrait of a man behind bars, obsessed with telling and selling his own story. From Detective and Exile Content Studio, this is Transportista. Listen to Transportista on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get inside training camp with NFL Network.
We back, baby!
With access to all 32 teams.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
The hottest position battles.
It's going to be fun to watch these young, talented quarterbacks.
Exclusive interviews.
Every single year you have to go out there and earn it.
And coverage you won't find anywhere else.
He's a playmaker at every level.
The biggest season ever starts here. Inside Training Camp Live. Coverage continues all week on NFL Network.
Hi, I'm Ethan Nadelman, host of the new podcast Psychoactive. I founded the Drug Policy Alliance, which has been at the forefront of the effort to legalize marijuana and end the broader war on drugs. But what's next? What's the future of drugs? On Psychoactive, I'll be talking with scientists and politicians, celebrities and activists about all things drugs.
Why do we have receptors in our brain that fit molecules made by poppy plants?
You know, I think ecstasy saved my marriage. Drugs are something I recommend to long-term couples.
We had to adopt this idea that there's this disease called alcoholism.
No matter how many drugs this particular person was selling, you shouldn't be able to kick someone's door down and then murder them.
Psychoactive is out now. Listen to Psychoactive on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook now. Get a deposit bonus up to $1,000. Can't beat that. Simply download the app. Use promo code VEASAN and get started with the only top-rated book that matters, DraftKings. You can bet on it. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Restrictions apply. Go to DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions and the best app out there, DraftKings. Good point by our producer, Matt. The Sopranos sequel, Saints of Newark, whatever it's called, they also are putting that in the theaters as well. Did you see the controversy with the actresses? What's going on? It's interesting.
Negative.
Scarlett Johansson, Emily Blunt, and it was someone else. They're getting a back end of the contracts done.
Oh, I did see
They get a back end of the movie.
Yeah.
But the studios are releasing it in the theater and then putting it right on the streaming devices right after. And they're saying, they're calling foul. They're saying, wait a second.
Yes.
I got a back end of the movie here, what it makes.
Per the language.
Give me a grace period.
Per the language, the studios are trying to get away with this, pull a fast one on them.
Yeah. And then one of the studios comes out and is like, we're going to cry for Scarlett. She's making $20 million already. And then it's something to follow.
Yeah, it is.
It's like several big-name actors and actresses had it put in their contract a certain way, and then they're coming right out and putting the thing right on streaming after only a couple of weeks.
Well, God only knows how much money those movies bring in, they're leaving how much money on the table if they don't get what's supposed to be theirs, obviously. A good tweet here from ML Dogs. Hotel rooms for football weekends are crazy. The cheapest room at the Cosmo just for the Friday night of EDC and the Eagles weekend is $830.
Oh!
That's a discount rate, and those are rooms at the Cosmo without a balcony.
You have that, yep.
It's going to be...
The Bears, when the Bears come to town, everyone from Chicago.
Okay, so
we got so many people out here from Chicago anyways. Yeah, props every week, baby.
Yep.
Every day this week, props.
So the highest total individual TD passes this year for any quarterback in the league is 44.5. In 17 games now, the first time ever, Paulie, in NFL history, are we going to have a quarterback go over 44.5? I went back to the year Peyton Manning got to 49. That was in 2004. Manning did it that year. Brady did it the undefeated season with 50. The 2011 season, Breeze and Rodgers, 46 and 45.
Hi, I'm Randy, and this is Dave.
We're the founders of Bombas, the most comfortable socks in the history of feet.
So comfortable, we sold and donated millions of pairs.
To sell and donate a lot of socks, we became obsessed with comfort.
We reinvented the sock from the ground up, adding comfort innovations along the way.
It worked. People tried them, loved them, told their friends about them,
helping us sell and donate millions of pairs.
Try them now at bombas.com/comfy and get 20% off your first order. That's bombas.com/comfy.
Hola, I'm Wilmer Valderrama, and I am excited to share my new podcast with you. Each week on Essential Voices, I'll be in conversation with an essential worker. Truck drivers, teachers, mental health professionals, grocery store workers. The folks that's kept society going during COVID and will keep it going long after. How can we continue supporting these folks and their society-sustaining professions as the nature of the pandemic continues shifting? Well, listen to Essential Voices with me, Wilmer Valderrama, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
From iHeartRadio and the producers who brought you Murder in Oregon and Happy Face comes the new true crime podcast, Murder in Illinois.
Chris is unable to recall what happened.
We were not to say anything to anybody.
These drugs alter brain chemistry.
I'm Lauren Bright Pacheco. Join me for Murder in Illinois, Who Killed the Vaughn Family.
All bets are off.
Listen and follow Murder in Illinois on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.